Unbelievable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And Stark are champions!
Good on, Pepe! Goal! It doesn't get any better than that!
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to some more Delaware Conference APSL League play. Today we are at the South Philadelphia Super Site to watch Sewell host Alloy in a game that is important for both teams in this case. As of right now, if we give a quick look at our league's table, we can see that Alloy is trying to maintain their second place spot as Philadelphia Heritage took it away from them just yesterday. And so a win today will get them in that same spot and make sure that they can solidify that top four for playoffs at the end of the season. Meanwhile, for Sewell, not too good of a look, but right now a win will be able to put them ahead of that 10th seat, just ahead of them, Medford, to make sure that they do not end up in relegation, as relegation will be important and is, well, here this season. The 11th place team will end up in the playoffs of the league beneath this, which is the Casa League. So any way to sort of avoid playing more games that isn't the, good games of the playoffs would be very nice. So we will see both teams, giving it their all and making sure that they can, keep in this play, whether it be for making sure the season stays alive or if it's for better placement in the playoffs. So we will wait for the teams to get themselves ready as the players and captains are shaking the refs' hands and organizing themselves, and we will continue with league play momentarily. Right. We will go ahead and see Sewell start off with the ball, and if you happen to notice some of the trees swaying in the background and some of the players' jerseys sort of shifting off to the right, we have a decent wind that is picking up, and in this case I believe favoring Sewell for any sort of long balls or any possible looks through the defense that they might try and take. So we will see whether or not that is in their favor or not. And we will see if Caden Mullen, the goalkeeper for Aloy, will see if he can compensate for any of the extra speed that might be given. On the opposite end for Sewell, you see Aportella as their goalkeeper, as he might be tested right now, but it seems as though Vetter was able to step in and slow down the play before it developed. You can see Alloy probably trying to get its center there, but likely not the touch that Kiefer wanted, and Sewell will take possession in their own half and maybe look a little bit further upfield. This might be a little bit of an opportunity. We'll see if Sewell can maybe try and get this center. Quick slowdown of the play, past one player, centered, but that will float over into the other side of the field. But slow down, and maybe we'll see Sewell able to control this ball for now and maintain this possession. The ball, a little bit of confusion at the top of the box here as LA tries to regain themselves off of a little bit of a weak clear, and you can see a transfer of possession as Alloy now looks to their opponent's side of the field, and a missed tackle almost leads to something, and a big takeover there. We're going to see if maybe Alloy is going to have an opportunity here outside of the box, and it is just over the net. Apertella likely breathing a good sigh of relief there, as that play was developing faster than I could talk, honestly. But he will motion for his teammates to go further downfield as he looks for better opportunities. That ball a little low will immediately fall in Alloy possession. And they will look to the far side of the field. We'll see if a center is able to come through, but it will fall harmlessly to the Sewell defense, and we'll see if they're able to turn this into something favorable, maybe with a look downfield, but the ball sent back to Mullen, and they're able to ensure it doesn't turn into anything too major. See Baker try and get it down that far sideline, but no luck, and we'll get the first throw in of the game. Some good pressure here from Sewell is going to earn them the ball back with a clear towards their own net, but I'm sure they're happy to have possession. I'll look to this near side of the field, and a big collision is going to result in a foul here. And we will have a quick reset. Big send towards the line, but that is going to float over them. And Mullen will gladly take possession and see if his team can move the ball a little bit further downfield. Good step there from Vetter to try and return this possession in Sewell's favor, but won't last too long. Alloy going to look for this near side. We're going to see a possible play here. Some moving pieces, almost dead center of the field. We're going to see if a shot here might be able to do something. Possession does stay in Alloy's favor as they push it to that far sideline. We're going to see if they can do anything more with this as they try and restructure themselves. Big step there from Sewell. Another big step is at least keeping Alloy out for now, as some organization is happening. See some hands being waved around, and a little bit of a hard touch back is gonna call for a big reset on Alloy's side. Good step here, and we're gonna see a run down this near sideline. Gonna see if maybe we can get some moves. A quick little handoff there. We'll see if he pulls his leg back to get a shot, but that is a deflection from, I believe that was Baker, who was able to step in there. And we'll get our first corner of the match. Challenge here will be keeping the ball at least in the box, as the wind will likely carry this a little bit further out. So we'll see if they maybe opt for the short pass as an easier way, but that ball will not get too much height and at least stay in Alloy possession. Send to the box. Sewell able to step on it. The challenge from Alloy, they will get a deflection and get the ball back. Oh, apologies, correction, that was Sewell's ball. Few quick challenges back and forth. You can see Sewell under a little bit of pressure here as they're trying to manage their own ball in their own back half, and it looks like Alloy will be able to step on it, but so far Sewell doing a decent job to make sure that no easy ball is let through their defensive line. And with an attempted look down the far sideline, unfortunately won't result in anything at the moment. A look down center is not going to result in anything, and a look down center returning for Sewell also not going to result in anything as this ball bounces back and forth on Alloy's side. We'll see if maybe they can try and turn this around and get it out of their own half. But as of right now, it's still a little bit of a back and forth. You can see Baker step in there again. So far being a pretty key player, and a big misstep there. We'll see if this can result in anything. Quick back and forth, and that will be a penalty for Sewell. See some hands being thrown up in confusion about whether or not it was outside the box, I believe. But the ref is very confident in their call as they're currently standing talking with some of the Alloy players. Amidst this confusion, I'll go ahead and take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Umbro. Today's Game and Frame broadcast is presented by Umbro, celebrating more than 100 years of football. Learn more at umbropremier.com. And it looks like the foul will be taken on that far side. I thought I saw the ref point to the center, but I could have been mistaken. We'll see the ball towards the back half of the net, but nothing dangerous for Alloy here, as Sewell will take their corner. Not too much of a crowded box here. Seems like a lot of the Sewell players spacing themselves out. Although I can't say the same for Alloy. Opting to have 4 players right in front of the keeper. That will go straight in front of the net. And we'll see as it deflects off an Alloy player, I believe. Yes. And Sewell will take another corner. You can see the wind is pushing the ball, even though Sewell is trying to get it set up. Ref making sure that it stays on the corner arc. See his service. Again, towards the back half of the box. See it headed softly towards the center and a nice clear backwards. Gonna get it back to Baker as he tries to get it back center to his players, and that will be a deflection, and Sewell will maintain their pressure on this Alloy half. See if they're looking for a big throw towards the middle of the box, and a header is just gonna head off to the left. And Alloy will have their moment of relief, as for the past while, Sewell has been adding a lot of pressure on their defense. As again, the ball is getting pushed by the wind. But we'll see. It cleared towards the 50-yard line, as that was slowed down by a lot from this ever-persistent wind. And Sewell will try to look for an immediate shot down that far sideline, but move it towards this near sideline to see if maybe they can use some new players to develop something. That's O'Neill trying to make his way past a few of the Alloy defenders and getting a nice step in there. Maybe we'll see if he can maintain possession on this near sideline. He does for a moment, but with a challenge that will fly out. That ball dancing on this near sideline as we see Crab try and maintain the possession, but nothing too strong will come of it. And Sewell again with some good opportunities on this far side, and even with a little bit of an awkward header, still able to try and maintain something, but nothing will come of it. And Crab will quickly grab the ball and see if he can maybe look towards this sideline, and like a quick flick out, Vetter will easily keep it in Sewell possession. Some more back and forth will lead to Alloy maybe getting an opportunity coming towards us, but that'll return back and send towards the corner is going to be a little bit too flat of an angle, and Alloy will see if they can get out of their own half, as that's where most of the game has been played so far. Sewell able to step here. We'll see if Crab can make sure it doesn't result in anything. Unfortunately, it will. And we'll go ahead and see Alloy try and take an opportunity, but again, Sewell seems to just have the answers, at least right now, for what Alloy is doing. And even with some clears and some opportunities to step on, although this one seeming to be a little bit more powerful as compared to others. Ball will float almost straight up in the air. We'll see if Sewell is able to catch this on the sideline. They will, and that short pass will have some contention with it, and that'll be a Sewell throw-in. Alloy just meeting a lot of resistance whenever it comes to trying to move the ball around. As they danced around that far sideline for a moment, tried to look center, and was immediately deflected by O'Neal. They will at least maintain possession in this case, but Sewell seems to be almost everywhere on the field at the moment as they get a clear. And Alloy sees if they can maybe try and take a look towards this near sideline. Some looks in this midfield, some passing back and forth. Will possibly lead to something. I believe that's Crab who's trying to hand it off to his teammates, but Sewell able to step in this case. And a quick toe poke back is a good look down the field, but I think with recognition that that would have been offsides. Sewell let that fall to Mullen and let Alloy get another look down this near sideline. It seems like their best opportunities are coming from here, but a big step will halt it, at least for now. It looks like that will be a corner, if I'm correct, as you see Apatella organizing his defense. Alloy, not many people in the box, going to opt for the short option here. We'll see if centering it now is the better option. Apatella able to get a punch on it and force it out for a corner on the other side. Truthfully, there weren't that many Alloy players looking towards the box, only one. See if, again, the short option and then center is going to result in anything. A little bit of an awkward control just outside the box. And they're going to see if they can shift it back to this corner again, but it will be cleared out as both teams go ahead and reset. Big clear here as both the players fight for the ball. A little bit of conflict there, resulting in Alloy player down, but nothing will be made of it. You see them try and look maybe towards that far sideline as Butler maybe looks to get a deflection there, but it'll bounce right back to him and off. Just unfortunate in that situation. Sewell, after a little bit of back and forth, seems like they're holding on to the ball for now, making some movement upfield, but that'll be stopped. We'll see if maybe a run towards the top of the box here. We'll see Apatella, a little bit of hesitation, and that'll get chipped over. Still a lot of back and forth in this midfield as Alloy tries to get this ball moving around. Go ahead and see the Sewell defense opt to push the ball out as Riki will hand it back to his team and see if maybe a quick give and go will give them any opportunity. And they'll try and force this out, but Sewell blocking a lot of their opportunities, maybe looking across the defensive line, but will not break through, and Alloy will reset again. See Butler, see if he can maintain possession just outside of the box, but again, Sewell just able to step on a lot of these opportunities. Although this near sideline seems to be favoring them, at least somewhat, in developing some kind of plays, and that will be a foul on Sewell, just next to the 20-yard line. Didn't look like the injury resulted in anything too major, luckily. And you see Apportella, apologies, organize his wall as the Alloy players discuss their plan of action. You can see Crab hovering over the ball. A few quick handoffs, and Crab tries to take a shot. Quick deflection and a lot of feet trying to get a touch on that, and looks like Riki was able to step in on that. At least for this latter part of this first half, it seems like Alloy is able to maintain a little bit more possession on the ball, and maybe with a step here they might be able to do something. It looks like they will. They're going to send it back to this near sideline. Riki trying to make a few quick moves. He does. We'll see if he tries to maybe get it center. They're getting a lot of movement, but a lot of it's only really laterally. Need to get it a little bit further downfield to maybe have it turn into something. This is exactly what they need in a deflection. We'll give them another corner. Again, this wind is definitely going to force this ball a little bit further to the outside of the box. And with a right-footed kicker, that's not the most favorable thing. We'll see how they try and compensate for it, and the ball will almost stop dead right in the center of the box in this case, as Alloy gets it sent back out. Another service into the center that'll go straight to Apportella, and he'll gladly slow down the play and take a big punt towards the other side of the field, bouncing at the 30. He might not have estimated the wind, taking it as much as it did, as there won't even be an Alloy player there to try and maintain the possession. We'll go ahead and see Stone there, maybe trying to block off some passes, cause a little bit of chaos, and it might, as both players go down. It pops up a little bit. We'll see Caden Mullins step out there, and O'Neal try and maybe get a touch there, but will end up in Riki's hands as a slide comes in, but Crab able to hold on to the ball. We'll see if they maybe try and look towards the center. It looks like they will. He'll reel back for a shot, and Apportello will call off his defenders so he can keep it. He's going to signal for his players to go further downfield. They'll likely back up a little bit more, as that ball will soar, unfortunately, over Stone and back into Alloy possession. I'll go ahead and let you guys know that we have some games coming on earlier today. We have the Central Park Rangers versus New York Internationals at 4 as the Metropolitan Conference. And a little bit of confusion here. We're going to see Alloy step up, and maybe with a little bit of contention, and the ball will float, or not float, but roll just off to the left there. Of course, right when I'm trying to let you guys know, we're going to have some more APSL action. Something major happens, but I'll go ahead and let you guys know that we do have another game coming up later. It is the Pacific Freedoms versus the Richmond County at 8 p.m. And then we will have a little bit more of game and frame play coming next week on the 23rd for the Delaware Conference. And oh, it looks like Riki will be able to hold the ball here in this case, and maybe a center might be able to do something. That ball is able to slip through. We'll see if a shot is able to be taken. And again, that left side, it seems to be where the ball just wants to go. But as I was saying, next week we have some Delaware River Conference. That is Philadelphia Soccer Club versus Sewell Old Boys, as they will be traveling in that case, and that'll be at 6 p.m. And then just an hour later, we will see some fourth round qualifying for the U.S. Open Cup, and that'll be Oakland United versus Vistula Garfield. So make sure you guys tune in to those. Either it be after this game, or just keeping it in mind for next week. And we will see Alloy maybe try and take another stab at a corner kick. They've had a lot, and it's generated some light pressure, at least. And in this case, it will remain so as they maintain possession. Go ahead and see if Crab can try and send it to the other side, but chipped it a little bit too much. And Baker will look back to maintain possession. A nice send down the sideline. We'll see if Sewell can do anything with it, as some of the players kind of flood into the top of the box. They will take this throw in, on the other hand, and maybe set themselves up a little bit more for a better scoring opportunity. It's going to float towards the top of that 6, and it'll bounce a few times and result in a goal kick. I will say, Sewell holding a pretty strong presence, even with how the table reflects their performance so far this season. I will say both of these teams have opponents that I mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast that are just the step ahead of them, that actually played just yesterday, I believe. And in that case, Heritage won, and Medford lost out, just losing 5-4. And if that is any showcase of how close this game will be, then I'm sure we will see this back and forth contention continue throughout the rest of this half and going into the next. You see Alloy able to hold on to the ball here, but a lot of Sewell players stepping in. One of them being Baker here. See, hands the ball back off, and it will be sent up to Renzulli as he tries to make a few attempts to get it past that defensive line, but I believe that's O'Neal as he tries to possess it and maybe look forward again. It's not gonna result in anything as Kiefer hands it back. See a big shot coming down the sideline and turning on the burners. It looks like Sewell almost was able to retain the ball there, but Alloy gonna try and get it towards the center, but no Sewell players rushing to try and get the ball off of them, and this will result in them trying to make a stand towards this top of this box. We're going to see a quick move, and that will be a shot on net. I believe that was Butler. Received a beautiful pass. Made a quick move and was able to find the bottom left corner of the net. That left side, clearly they've been aiming for it. It's sort of rolled out the past few times, but this time it'll end up inside the posts, and Alloy going ahead and taking the lead for this game. Sewell now going to have to play a little bit on their back heels, as at least at the beginning of this half they had a good amount of pressure, and one goal shouldn't determine whether or not a team is in control of the game or not, because so far it seems like it's been a decent back and forth, but in this case Alloy just able to step on the opportunity and make something of it, but Sewell just not converting their opportunities, and a little bit of a slow touch there, as I believe Baker was called to pass it back, but he likely didn't see the player, and a through ball here is gonna result in an offsides call, I believe, or no, that is just gonna be a yellow card for Butler as the play stops. Or apologies, it was a foul in favor of Alloy. Maybe. Apologies. I am unsure how the play is going to continue, as I saw the ref point at something. Yes, it will be. Foul in favor of Alloy, and we'll see some of their players sort of shift in the Sewell defensive line, maybe try and develop something, and another foul will follow right after that. And they will set up yet again. Alloy getting some good back and forth going here. Maybe trying to look to the other side of the field. Probably should have just kept it on this side, as he had some good movement from players going around, and with a good tap towards that far side of the corner, see if a quick move maybe opens up an opportunity, but it won't, as we'll see yet another corner in the Sewell half. The ball floating very high towards the top of the box. See some legs flying around as they try and take some swings at it, and it'll bounce on the ground and into Aportella's possession. Alloy able to step on it in this case, but Sewell jumping in on a little bit of a loose ball there. I'll try and hand it back there as Itifi tries to do something with it, but Alloy able to step on it. O'Neill maybe trying to get it back, or at least pass him to a teammate, but it won't result in anything. Again, O'Neill trying to look for a teammate, but Alloy able to step on it in this case. But Sewell will at least maintain possession, as an Alloy player able to step right there and make sure that doesn't turn into anything too dangerous, as I believe that was Hostetter who was able to stop that play. And they were going to go ahead and hand it off to Zuli, and a little bit of more back and forth, and bouncing to the 10-yard line, but an offsides call will be made, as I believe Sewell thought it was a deflection, so it would not have been a offsides call in that case. But Alloy gonna go ahead and try and quickly respond here, as two Sewell players will make sure that that doesn't result in anything, as Hollinger, I believe that was, tries to turn it into something. And it looks like that'll be a foul in favor of Sewell. Aportella will, looks like he maybe tried to look for something short, but will opt for motioning his team downfield. Ball pop up at the 50-yard line. So Alloy is able to maintain it, and Riki will look back, as the opportunity wasn't there yet, but it is now. We'll see if maybe he tries to take this sideline. A little bit of a step is going to deflect. We'll see what the ref says. It's going to be a Sewell ball, as Vetter will assess his options. Foul in that case. I believe it was on Baker, and Alloy will now, in their own turn, look downfield for opportunities and send it far to the side, but unfortunately looks like Kiefer was not able to reach for the ball in that case. Again, another foul. Seem to be having a decent amount of back and forth with these so far this game. This time in Sewell's favor. That ball's slowing down very much so mid-air, to the point that Fiti didn't think that it would stop and land right on top of him, but it did, and this will result in an Alloy possession, very much so favorable, as Crab maybe tries to look for a look center, and that will be a handball. We'll see if it was just barely outside of the box. Dare I say lucky for Sewell there that didn't just result in a penalty kick. We'll go ahead and see Butler talk with Crab, with maybe awaiting a fake here. We'll see two of them. Another one. See some movement. Short. Crab gonna try and maybe send it across the net. A lot of movement there, but it seems like the Sewell defense not falling for it. And Baker will try and maybe cut off the pass here. It seems like it'll work as Alloy moves the ball back down to their own half, slowing down the play. Crab gonna see if he can take this ball down this near sideline. Some good contention. We're gonna see a double team here, maybe even possibly a triple team from Sewell, making sure he can't do anything with the ball. We'll see Hollinger try and maybe shift that a little bit laterally, but a quick step will force it back in towards the opposite sideline. A lot of lateral movement here from Alloy as they try and look for their opportunities, in a nice little chip. Might be able to get them somewhere, but it seems as though Vetter was able to step in on it, though a little bit off balance there. Still able to force the ball out and make sure that doesn't turn into anything. See the ball in contention on that far sideline, and another foul will be called. We'll see which direction the ref points momentarily. I believe it did. I didn't catch it at the moment. I believe he's pointing towards the box. Yes, it looks like it'll be a foul for Alloy in this case, as the ref goes ahead and walks his paces for the Sewell line to be drawn. We'll see if maybe this is another high ball that Alloy has tried before. Looks like it will be as it floats towards the center of the box. That'll not necessarily deflect, but sort of ricochet backwards and back in Alloy favor, and it looks like we might have a good look here towards the center, and that'll sort of slide through a lot of legs as no one was able to get a foot on it and roll out to this far sideline. See Sewell with a little bit less poise in their control right now, and if they don't have control, they're at least trying to stop the play. As Alloy able to retain that possession and maybe look for a big shot downfield in this case. And it looks like they will get it. We'll see if maybe a center here. Riki, unable to get a solid touch on it. And that'll be our first half of play. Alloy leading Sewell 1-0. And even then, with a 1-goal lead, can't really say it's a dominant one at that, though it does seem like Alloy is at least shifting in favor of possession and control. We will go ahead and see if that remains so as we head in for halftime. Make sure you guys stay tuned as we still have another half to go after this short break.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish, flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobax, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division I programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have switched sides on the field, and it seems like the wind has both picked up and slowed down. Seems to be a little bit unpredictable in this case. So, as much as we have seen the ball either get sent flying to the other side of the field or almost stopping dead center on a yard line, it seems like that will likely continue for the rest of this game, and we will see if that comes into favor for either of the teams. We will have Alloy start in this case as they try to maybe take another look down the field, as there's a lot of contention at the top of the box, and they do get the ball back, maybe trying to just shift it center. Hollinger able to at least maintain it, as we see a few Sewell players pressure it. Right now, Sewell immediately on the defense, and with a little bit of a mistouch there, they're able to clear it, but Baker not able to get too strong of a touch, and a little bit of pinballing going on back and forth between these teams. Definitely staying more on the Sewell side of the field, but seems like staying within Alloy's reach, but after a little bit too strong of a touch, Sewell will see their first proper possession of this first half, of this second half, apologies. See a few bounces before anyone's able to get a touch on it, but it seems like Alloy will gladly take it in this case, and we'll see if Hollinger is able to push it out, but seems like that will be an offsides call. We'll see if Mullen decides to take it or not, with the choice of advantage in that case. Alloy able to step on it, but a lot more of the very common back and forth we've been seeing so far in this game still making itself known in this next half. See some attempted quick moves there from Hostastar as he tries to get some move, and Crab trying to do the same thing here as we'll see him maybe get an opportunity here looking center, and Sewell able to step in that case and maybe get it towards this near sideline. We'll see if there's enough speed behind Kuzmik as he tries to get the ball. A little bit of a slow touch there, and tries to see if he can maybe go for, I believe it was a placement shot in that far corner, but there's no luck in that case, as the Alloy defense was making sure he didn't at least have an easy time trying what he was looking for, at least. See a foul come through here. Seems like it'll be in favor of Sewell at the moment. I'll bounce a little bit at the top of the box. We'll see if maybe any kind of possession can be gained here, as there are a few deflections. O'Neill's going to see if he can maybe get this back center. It's not high enough to try and get to Baker, who's sitting on that far side. Baker will get a header in there, though. And it will roll out, but a little bit of a delayed foul there. We'll go ahead and give Alloy the ball. Alloy, I guess, trying to take a stab towards the center of the field and maybe looking at capitalizing on a little bit of the slow play that's coming out from Sewell here. But, you know, simply fall back in their favor, and a nice through ball there. We'll see if, I believe that's Baker again on that far side. We'll see if maybe he can try and get this across or take a shot. He does. Crab is able to keep it in. And apologies, he was not able to. I saw the play developing, but the flag will be thrown in the air, and Aportella will take the goal kick. The ball is definitely harder to read right now for the players trying to receive these longer kicks, and that is definitely showing as both Alloy and Sewell players are either over or underestimating some of these longer touches, but that just means that this game might need to take a little bit more of a favorable ground game, as it feels like Alloy has been doing a little bit of a better job in that case. Ball returns to the midfield as a lot of back and forth. A lot of the back and forth is actually, I feel like, slowed down as this half has begun, as it seems like Alloy has done a decent job here to try and keep possession, and they're going to see if they can try and maybe get something on this near sideline. Just going to go for a shot. It's going to bounce off the post. That was, I believe that was Ty, who had that decent look. But Aportella had at least the near post covered, and that's where the shot was going. It was off that near post. And likely a little surprise there. We'll see. The Sewell defense, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but we'll get away with it in this case, as Baker tries to maybe hand that ball off to Kuzmik, but there are no dice in that case, as Alloy tries to look down that far sideline. a little bit of two, I think that was, bicycle kick attempts coming in from Baker and then I believe it was Vetter, respectively. Neither really turned into something too major, but Alloy will at least maintain possession in this case, and a nice few moves might make it so that they retain it trying to get into the box, but looks like a corner kick will be the resultant in this matter. But for now, I'll go ahead and thank today's sponsor. Today's Game and Frame broadcast is presented by Umbro, celebrating more than 100 years of football. Learn more at umbropremier.com. Thank you again, Umbro, for sponsoring this game, and we will almost immediately get back in the action as a big push will come out there from Atifi on, I believe that was Hollinger. And Alloy will get the ball just past the 20-yard line. They have had a few, I'll choose the word fun, motions and sort of set pieces so far today, especially off of fouls that aren't exactly just outside the box, but a little bit past that. We'll see if maybe they can try a little bit of that magic this time and have it extend their lead. We'll go ahead and see two Alloy players hovering around the box. That'll deflect right off of the Sewell wall, and they will spread themselves back out to make sure the play doesn't develop into anything too much more, but it seems like it'll be a little bit of a sprint here, and a nice slide from Vetter will ensure that goes out in a more favorable fashion. Alloy going to try and look for the center of the box here, but Portella read that very well and assessed it was likely not too much of a threat, stepping out to send this ball down to the opponent's 30-yard line. But unfortunately, no Sewell players were there to receive it, though they will go ahead and take possession in this case. And a very strong gust of wind will cause for a little bit of disturbance, as that ball rolled very far out. For now, I'll go ahead and let you guys know that we have some games coming on later today. One not too long after this one, and that will be for the Metropolitan Conference, the Central Park Rangers versus the New York Internationals, and that will go ahead and be at 4 p.m. Meanwhile, just a few hours later, we'll see the Perseverance Freedoms versus Richmond County at 8 p.m. Then, next week, we'll have some Delaware conference action, as that was centered, but likely a little too far in this case for Alloy, as they will hand the ball off to Sewell in this case. But we'll return with Delaware River Conference action, as Philadelphia Soccer Club will go against these same Sewell Old Boys at 6 p.m. And then we will have more Open Cup action with the 4th round qualifying with Oakland United versus SC Vistula Garfield. So make sure you both stay tuned for more Game and Frame today, and then set a reminder, or at least keep in mind for any notifications if you would like to subscribe and be reminded that we have a lot more games going on for you folks. And those will be broadcasted on this same channel. Of course, anything else, if you would like to keep track of, you can visit our Instagram and other socials as well. Still, the game seems to be remaining to a little bit of a back and forth, but favoring Alloy, as Atifi will try and make a few moves around some players and get a foul in this case. This back and forth does not keep itself just to possession and opportunities, but also to a lot of the fouls that have plagued this team, and a lofting ball will go straight to the top of the 6 almost, as it is cleared out. The header's going to try and move it a little bit further upfield as Crab tries to take possession, but 2 Sewell players will make sure that he doesn't hold on to it comfortably, and a third one will step in. I believe that was O'Neill. Was able to stop it from developing, but even with an Alloy player stepping in, Sewell still able to maintain possession with a throw-in this case. Alloy going to try and send it down the line, but it's not going to result in too much, and Atifi is going to push it out to, I believe, that is Ibrahim, if I'm correct. But it won't matter too much, as Alloy is going to take their own stab at the net, in a shot from the 30-yard line will drop and bounce just at the top of the box, and Sewell will try and maintain possession, and they will with a foul here. A little bit of a giveaway there. We'll let Alloy maybe take a crack of their own, and with a quick challenge from O'Neill, they'll make sure that that slows down, and a good amount of pressure here as 2 Sewell players try to commit to making sure a pass doesn't come through. It unfortunately for them will, and a move there, I think, will give Hollinger an opportunity to shoot on net. He likely went for a little bit more placement there, but it did not turn into something. Zappartella was able to get in the way of it. Johnson gonna take this throw in. Go ahead and see if Kuzmik can do anything with it. And Atifi trying to debate with the ref about the call, but no favor can be gained. Alloy maintaining their hold on this side of the field, at least. Again, a little bit of a contrast to the beginning of this game, as it seems like Sewell was able to generate a decent amount of opportunities that normally Alloy doesn't allow, but it seems like they have gathered a little bit more of their wits and turned into a little bit more of a solidified form, or maybe some changes that happened in the halftime to keep this game on the opponent's side of the field. A quick give back will keep the ball in the corner here, as we'll see if there's any opportunity to try and get it center, but it'll roll out for an Alloy corner kick. Sewell will be able to step on short opportunity there, but a handoff probably wasn't what they were looking for, and Alloy gonna step on this. Looks like, I believe that is Butler, who was able to try and continue the play, and Alloy will go ahead and keep it moving, as Ty will see if he can move this play center. Not too much luck as Kreb tries to make a move, maybe getting it center to Ty, and a big step from Sewell will make sure that that shot on net doesn't go full to form, and it rolls in favor enough for Sewell to get the ball out of their box and, well, out of their half. Go ahead and see Ty move it back to Crab, and then we're going to see Baker again. He has one goal today. We'll see if he tries to go for another one or passes it. He goes for his own, and that'll float above both the crossbars in this case. Quick substitution here for Alloy. They went ahead and subbed in Ahmed for Riki. And we'll see him shift to that midfield-ish position. There is a Sewell player getting helped off on the far sideline in this case, which is why the play is currently on hold. Ref will go ahead and whistle play to resume. And we will see Alloy very quickly retain possession. A quick handoff between Crab and Ty as they do unfortunately lose possession, and O'Neal is able to at least get it to the 50-yard line as Johnson tries to take a step here and is somewhat able to maintain possession, but good step is able to make sure that that doesn't follow through fully. Quick move here from Ty, but that'll be taken away from his phone as he tries to look up into the other side of the field, but no one was fully able to receive the ball. Crab gonna see if he can pass this between people, and we do not see a flag coming up, and we'll see if Crab is able to get this center. It goes, I believe that's to Baker. He's gonna hand it off to, I believe that's Hollinger. Able to put it in the back of the net. It was bouncing between so many people. Appertella was not able to get a good grasp of where that ball was gonna be shot from. And just good placement there from Hollinger as he's able to extend this Alloy lead to 2. Again, Alloy's presence has been much more notable in this second half, and that has been repaid in this case, as it was just a little bit too much for the Sewell defense. We'll see if this calls for a little bit more urgency on Sewell's half as they look to try and just get the ball out of their own half. And the ball does go to the other half, just in Alloy's favor. Oh, a big step there from Sewell. We'll see if maybe they can try and get possession from this. It doesn't look like they will. They do have a decent amount of players upfield. Maybe they're trying to switch to pressuring the ball a little bit sooner than past their own 30-yard line. Does not seem it's working too much in their favor as Crab will pull his leg back and go for a shot just outside the 20. It will float above the net, but that does in this case keep Sewell on their toes as Alloy shows that they're not afraid to take shots from anywhere. Some quick steps and quick challenges have resulted in a little bit more midfield play for Sewell, but Alloy again just able to get on this ball. Gonna see them maybe try and take it down this further side, and with a few of the Sewell defenders stepping in, that'll deflect out and turn into a corner kick. The short option is open, and Alloy will take it. That is the new Ahmed trying to move the ball around. Just got subbed in. Fortunately, it rolls through the defense and the attacking players awaiting it. O'Neal gonna see if he can assess his options, even with two Alloy players pressuring him. Big step there, and trying to move the ball out won't be anything favorable for Sewell, as it was a little bit too far away for retaining possession. Sewell definitely opting to move the ball back at times to maintain possession, but it seems like Alloy very much so able to step on this, and it seems like Baker might get another opportunity here. A good deflection from Appertella. We'll see if Baker is able to keep this possession, and he won't. Appertella, in that case, able to get in front of the ball. A lot of the scoring opportunities haven't been too favorable for him, and I can definitely feel for that as a goalkeeper myself, but well handled there, and that will keep Sewell in only a 2-point deficit, which at this point, maybe with a goal in the incoming minutes, they can try and take a little bit of momentum to tie up the scoring, but they need to see if they can generate anything truthfully in the midfield. That seems like that's really where they're falling apart, their midfield and the top of their own third, as Alloy, just as I said, will return to having the ball as Ty tries to process it, but with a quick pass out, it's not going to result in anything. And we'll see if maybe a quick look towards the top of the box is going to result in anything, but Mullen will gladly wait out a little bit of the clock and then pick up the ball. Going to see a possible through ball here, and an attempted pass back. See if they could continue that, but a poor touch there is going to leave Crab with a one-on-one. We'll see him try and go for a little bit of an outpace play, and an attempted pass back with the shot being almost put on net there, honestly. A little bit of a surprise, if I'm being honest, after I believe it was a deflection. So we will have an Alloy corner kick. I will go ahead and again thank today's sponsor. Today's Game and Frame is presented by Umbro, celebrating more than 100 years of football. Learn more at umbropremier.com. Thank you again, Umbro, for sponsoring today's Game and Frame. In this case, the ball will float towards the far side of the net and out. A low ball here with a lot of power will be sent to the 40-yard line, and some big touches is going to lead to a little bit of contention in the midfield, but with Sewell just trying to get it further up, it seems like Alloy is able to in this case almost turn possession, it looks like. Yeah, they will. We're going to go ahead and see Hollinger, see if he can honestly do this by himself. A Sewell player does step to slow it down, but a look from Crab will see if they can pass it out to Baker. See if he can get his score count up to 2 in this case, as he has been involved in every single scoring play that has happened in this game so far. We will, in this case, see Walker get subbed in, as I believe it was Crab who was taken out of the game at the moment, at least. And it does seem that Walker has been shifted to the back line of Alloy to maybe ensure a little bit more defensive stability in the coming later half of this half. A little bit of an awkward step there is going to let Sewell maybe take their first good look of the game. They're going to keep it to that far sideline, and with a quick move, see if maybe getting it to the center of the field will do the trick, but nothing will come of it. And a shot on net, and Mullen will opt to take it to his feet for a moment to likely draw off a player and open up his defensive line. See Walker shift it to the far side of the field in this case, and even with a little bit of a big touch there, you see some movement coming out for Alloy, but too many big touches does lead to Sewell having possession. A send to this near sideline will likely result in something. It seems like the play will be called offsides. I wasn't sure whether an Alloy player was able to get to that or not, and it seemed like Sewell might have had a scoring opportunity there. But just off is going to slow down any developing momentum and give Alloy the ball back. Sewell does need to look for a few more plays, or maybe just some more chaotic, risky touches, or see if they can pull any tricks out of their own book, as we are getting relatively close to the end of this game. That is, of course, not to take away from Sewell's performance. A lot of people, when looking at this game, would likely see it as a possible blowout, but Sewell has stood strong, and we'll see if they're able to stay strong here, as Aportella able to get a step on that and stays in front of it. Making sure that this lead does not increase for Alloy, Portela, very much so, keeping this team in line, and we might see an opportunity here. A step to the side. I don't know if that angle is good enough to try and take a shot, and an attempted shot. I thought an Alloy player was able to get in front of that, but it seems like the shot was left open, and that floated, just bouncing off of the crossbar. That was probably one of the best opportunities Sewell had, and it floated just a little bit too high. I would like to imagine they were looking maybe towards the left or right of the net, but that bounced relatively center of the crossbar. Even with the miss, maybe this will add a little bit of a spark to this Sewell team to kick it into a little bit of a higher gear. After that throw, and we'll see the ball dance a little bit in the midfield, as it does look like Sewell is trying to jump on a little bit more of the loose ball opportunities that perhaps prior they were not capitalizing on. This is forcing Alloy to move the ball back into the other side of the field, but that hasn't really stopped them prior, as some of the wings or midfielders favoring the further edges of the field seem to be doing a pretty good job, and it seems like it will try and take something here, but that'll float a little too far for, I believe that was Ty's favor. And with a few bounces, you'll see a quick bit of contention and the ball roll out. Alloy almost moving the ball pretty freely through some of this midfield. In this case, not resulting in anything too well, but they were able to get a few more opportunities out of some of the solo efforts, and truthfully, some solo efforts have been a good standing reason why Alloy has been so prosperous in today's game. Though they haven't been the direct result of a goal, a lot of these solo plays have been the lead up to either the pass or some kind of center to give them an opportunity on net. And in this case, we might see Ahmed get his own opportunity on net, but it seems like he might have gotten his foot caught up a little bit there, and we'll head to the other side of the field and then get cleared forward by Portela. This is possibly an opportunity for Sewell, and maybe they can try and continue this with this foul, but I will say we do see a few more Sewell players lining themselves up towards the further end of the field, or at least deeper into the Alloy half. And if they need to score at any point, it is going to be now, but we will go ahead and see a substitution come through for the Alloy defense again. Seems like they want some fresh players to make sure any possible movements or opportunities on their defense can be met with some lively faces. Good through ball here. We're going to see if he tries to go for the shot. He's going to hand it back off to Strum and see if maybe center is the right option. At the moment it won't be, but they'll keep handing the ball back off to each other. As I believe that was Wells. Moves it to the far side, but Alloy unable to maintain. Sewell, maybe with a possible shot towards the far sideline here. We're going to see almost a control there, but just barely out of the reach. In this case, I believe that was Modo, and that will be the end of this game. Alloy winning 2-0, but Sewell putting up a great performance with the tables now number 2, and even at that they did have a fairly strong start, if I will say. I feel Sewell was holding a pretty good lead in pressure as the game began, but Alloy flexing their experienced muscles in this case to regain their hold on this game and, well, come out with a goal in the first half and a goal in the second half. So that will, in this case, put Alloy back in that number 2 seed, bumping Philadelphia Heritage down to number 3. And unfortunately for Sewell, we will be seeing them remain in that number 11 spot, hoping they can learn from this game, as they did show a lot of promise, and maybe turn around for a little bit more of a favorable rest of the season to hopefully avoid that possible relegation. I would like to thank you guys for joining us for this match. Of course, we do have some more coming up later today and an interview for you guys. So make sure you stay tuned into this broadcast for the interview, and then just keep in mind that we have plenty of more football coming your way if you'd like to stick around. So we will be right back.
From soccer fields across the USA to the legendary stadiums of Spain and Portugal, for 40 years, Petrobax has been the go-to expert for group travel to Spain and Portugal. We organize soccer group trips from start to finish, flights, hotels, transportation, and guided tours, all perfectly coordinated by our experienced team. Your trip can include attending La Liga and Portuguese Primeira Liga games, matches against local teams, pro training sessions, and even tournaments. As true experts in Spain and Portugal, we'll ensure you also experience the rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible food these countries are famous for. Celebrating 40 years of crafting unforgettable journeys to Spain and Portugal. Petrobacs, your team, your passion, your trip to Spain and Portugal starts here.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The Salt air case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together, and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the broadcast. Here I have Butler, the not lead goal scorer, but a goal and an assist for today's win against Sewell. How about right off the bat we just talk about how does it feel to be, that involved and that crucial to a solid win today?
Yeah, it feels great. After being off for most of the fall and popping back in here to help our guys out, it was nice to be able to get on the score sheet and grab an assist as well. Seth's done a great job as a forward, so we were just trying to work together throughout that, and it feels good to be a part of the team again.
Absolutely, and you guys had an amazing performance. I will say the beginning did seem a little bit more like a back and forth,
yeah.
And then when you guys came into the second half, it seems like you had a little bit more control of the ball.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you changed in that second half, or did you feel a little bit more confident in, how you guys were playing and you kind of like carried that forward?
Yeah, I mean, guys are constantly in and out of the lineup. We're just trying to find chemistry usually in the beginning parts of games. And with me, this being my first game back, I definitely was involved in that part of the game. And in the second half, we kind of started to figure it out. I think we calmed down a bit more. Under the conditions, we started playing defeat more, and it was just helped us control the game.
Absolutely. All right. Well, and with this win, you guys move back into that second place spot on the table. You and Heritage have been kind of like in a back and forth. So how does it feel to, sort of like stand strong and, hold a good spot in this league's conference?
Yeah, I mean, the league is always tough with Westchester, Heritage, and some other teams that hang around up there. So we're just trying to put ourselves in the best position to have a home game when playoff comes around, get our guys back healthy in the winter season into the spring, and then look to make it as far as we can.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for coming in for this interview, and thank you guys for watching. This has been Game and Frame. My name is Kenneth Dyer, and behind the camera that is Nick Kraus, and hopefully you guys have a good one. Make sure you check out any of the other broadcasts that we might have going on,